Steve Riddle. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be back for another round of these.
Yes. All right, we are here to preview Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus, round 4 or 5, whatever, in a steel cage this time. We are assuming this is the blow off. You get that sentiment too?
Yeah, I do. This feud's definitely been going on for quite a while now, since after Mania, when Trish turned on Becky after they lost the tag titles, and they kind of gone back and forth. They had the two matches, like you said, that ended in schmazes. We thought we were going to get this at SummerSlam, but they pushed it back a little bit to here. I think putting it in the cage is a good idea. It plays off the rivalry. Also, the big point of the whole thing is to keep Zoe from getting involved, because she's been a real thorn in Becky's side these last couple of weeks. So,
And or Trish to run away like she did in the previous match. It's been written pretty well to get us here. It doesn't really feel like it has the juice of a 4 or 5 month feud as it should, but we're here. Pretty much lasting all of summer. Did this happen the night after WrestleMania or a week or so afterwards where they were the tag champs, Trish filled in for Lita, and then Lita turned on Becky and yada, 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 jealousy, I'm the biggest star. Here we are, protege, running away, dragging it out. Here we are. Either way, let's kind of just jump into Becky Lynch real quick. We'll get to Trish at the tail end of here. Becky Lynch, August, September 2023. What's your total vibe on Becky Lynch?
I still think she's got plenty of the star power surrounding her. I don't think she's as hot as she was at her peak in like 2018, 2019. But you can definitely tell she still carries herself as a huge star. Obviously, for her, this feud with Trish, I'm sure was a bucket list, feud for her. So she's obviously, I'm sure she's been enjoying it. And I guess it's in something to kind of keep her doing something, because I think after this, she's probably going to be primed to be the big challenger for Rhea and the women's title. I think that's the feud everybody's wanting, and this is, I think, like you said, been a good kind of placeholder feud for her. You got two, kind of like one of the big stars of the early 2000s. The Attitude Era going up against one of the biggest stars of the modern era, so it's definitely has that feel behind it, and again, I think it's just kind of you still see the star power for Becky, and she still feels like one of the biggest stars on that roster.
Yeah, I kind of at the tail end of the big time Becks, or even during it, people were kind of shitting on it, but I felt that was something she wanted to do. Come back as a heel. The way the division was laid out at the time with Bianca and whatnot, I felt like it was a good spot for her. And I felt that she performed really well in there. I just think that the fans kind of wanted her as that baby face. Now here she is a year later, returning, or really getting hurt at SummerSlam 2022 and returning at War Games as the man. Here we are about 10 months later, and I feel like the man is kind of stale a little bit. Not necessarily bad. I wouldn't say bad whatsoever. I think that, like you said, she has plenty of star power and elicits great crowd reaction. And at a flick of a switch, she could be that top babyface, top center woman. But I think that, here we are. She is on the back nine. She is a mother. She's been there, done that. I feel like she is kind of being used in, let's say, I don't want to say the AJ Styles role where she's kind of here to put over the women, because obviously they brought in Trish Stratus to give Becky Lynch something to do, to add depth to the women's division, to do stuff. But I just feel that Becky Lynch doesn't really have a purpose. And, kind of bringing Trish in here was to give her a purpose, and it was kind of a swing and a miss in a way. And it kind of cooled her down a little bit. But I feel that they can kind of go back. They alluded to it a little bit around the draft, I think, or somewhere where Rhea and Becky kind of stared at each other. It was like, okay, okay. You're the man. I'm the new man. I'll see you down the line. The man versus the mommy. So I think that's my big wide thing is I think that's where we're heading. But can we wait till a WrestleMania, or Rhea necessarily use that now? What do you think is the direction there? Does the women's division need that now, or after this pay-per-view, leading into the fall, or should we wait for WrestleMania season?
I mean, logically, you'd want to wait till Mania because that Becky and Rhea is definitely a big Mania money match. At the same time, it feels like they're kind of directionless with Rhea. Like she hasn't really defended the title that often. She's been doing a lot of stuff with Dom, and she's been kind of floating between Raw and NXT.
Zelina,
So
Natty.
yeah, and it
It's
actually
okay.
will. Yeah, and actually, speaking of NXT, apparently I didn't watch it, but apparently at Heatwave, Tiffany Stratton dropped a Becky Lynch reference or like a
Ooh.
name drop of Becky. So that's kind of gotten people's minds tingling. Is Becky maybe going to go back to NXT for a little bit to feud with
Now,
Tiffany? Because
that'd be heating up some ratings right there.
right, and if you look at Becky's career, the one title she's never held was the NXT Women's title. So is she going
Okay.
to want to go for the
You,
Grand
Steve Riddle.
Slam?
I see you.
So
I see you.
so
Yeah,
maybe they'll
that's
use maybe they'll use that like as another kind of placeholder feud for Becky before they get to her and Rhea.
I see you. I see you, Steve. I like what you did there, and you could even tease them as mommy is hanging around NXT as Dom's North American champion. You can even give them a little cute tease there. Okay, and that could transition to maybe. I got you. All right, all right. That's why we brought you on, Steve Riddle. That's why you're here. All right, Trish Stratus. Quick scenario. I think it's not much of a prediction. I think Becky Lynch should and will win this match. I don't think we're spoiling anything there, prediction wise, at the end. Unless if you want to go crazy, you can go Trish, but we'll ask you at the end. Trish Stratus, with that scenario of her losing this cage match, would it be worth it to kind of have her kind of just stick around, be Zoe Stark's tag partner, and maybe go for those tag belts, and something Trish never necessarily did. Lita did it. Thank you, Trish. No pun intended there. Thank you, Trish, for coming and doing this program with Becky. And let's have you stick around a little bit more. I'm sure she's liking these paychecks, and let's kind of invest a little bit more in Zoe instead of having her be an apprentice or whatever she is. Let's just kind of give her a little depth, give Zoe some action, maybe get them a tag straps. I would hate to take it off Chelsea so early, but would that be worth it? You think, Steve?
I think so, and you actually kind of took the thoughts out of my head because that's why I was actually having in mind for where to go with Trish is to basically have her be basically prop up Zoe, and I thought having the two of them have a little run in the tag division, maybe even be the champions, would be a good little kind of little like you said, thank you for Trish for coming in and doing the feud with Becky, and also kind of give Zoe a prop up, to kind of get her some more momentum before they eventually kind of split them off at some point.
Yeah, and they can have a nice blow off afterwards, Survivor Series, whatever. So, all right, cool. I like this. I like that. I think it'd be worth it because, like I said, Trish back on a weekly basis has been hit or miss, kind of more misses than not. She still elicits a star power, still has somewhat of a presence. She's not a very good promo at this stage of the game, and she's very carryable in ring. I'm not really worried about this match. I hope that they go out there and have a successful match from a entertainment standpoint. I think for Becky and for Trish, you can kind of see a little struggling a little bit. Maybe they're a little done with this, but I feel like for themselves, I hope they go out there and kind of hit a home run. I wouldn't necessarily expect it, but I hope they do.
Yeah, I agree. I think they have the potential there. Being in a cage, I think they can open up the playbooks a little bit more. Like you said, we could see obviously Zoe's going to try to get involved some way, even with the cage there. So it's just gonna be interesting to see how Becky ends up kind of fighting off the odds. Because I'll go ahead and say it. I do think she's going to win the match in the end. So.
All right, cool. All right, so Becky's winning. She's going to NXT for a visit. Trish, is she going to beat Tiffany Stratton?
I don't know. That's again another interesting point. Do they let Becky complete that Grand Slam for her, get the one title she never had, or does she put over Stratton to shoot her up to the next level? Because they obviously see a lot of big things in Stratton. So I think it could be a very good feud. I think they'll play off each other very well. and I think the matches themselves will be pretty good too. So I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, they're not afraid to put an NXT title on Raw and defend it. Dom has done it a time or two. Braun Breaker won the title the night after WrestleMania in Dallas, so it's whatever. All right, Steve, Facebook page. We are doing the top 216, is it?
The greatest song of the 2000s tournament is going on over on the PTV Facebook group. It's been a lot of good matchups that have happened. Some great ones still to come. A lot of unexpected results in some of the matchups.
Headstrong, Chop Suey.
Some head scratchers definitely, but it's a lot of fun. I know that's everyone's got their different tastes. So,
and you do a great job of getting that together. And every day I'll be like, all right, if I know this, what's this song? And you throw it right in the you just throw it right in the comments, and I listen to it, and I'm like, all right, I'll go with the other song. All right, Steve, you do a ton of stuff around here. Keep it up, and we always appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one, buddy.
Of course. See you next time.